Those are my thoughts on the Hey you guys! Welcome to another Foundation Friday. I look very scared right now because we don't have on our foundation, but that's the point of this video. I am going to be paying close attention and wear testing the MAC Matchmaster foundation. This is a foundation I've actually had for a while and I just don't have any brand spanking new foundations to try out. So I figured why not give an old fave a retry. So we're gonna see how this foundation lasts all day on my skin. And yeah, let's do it. Mwah. So I used to work at MAC some time ago and I really like the Matchmaster. I felt like it was the only foundation that really worked for me. The only issue that I think me and everyone else in the world had with Matchmaster is that it oxidizes. And it like oxidizes. You could tell. Like I'm putting it on here, but you could tell that it already oxidized over here. It oxidizes to be much, much warmer. So it's kind of a tricky foundation. And yes, I know that it's not my perfect color, but it was at one point in my life. So you can see I'm putting it on my forehead and it hasn't oxidized yet, but it has oxidized around the rest of my face. I mean, oxidizing isn't a bad thing because sometimes if you're like a neutral tone, but like you're not like a full cool tone or a full warm tone, sometimes this type of foundation can really help. Oh, and thinking about it, I'm sure some of you are like, what does oxidizing mean? It just means that once the foundation like hits oxygen, like in the air, like hits the air, it gets warmer. I don't know the exact scientific meaning behind it, but that's not what I'm here for. So the Matchmaster foundation is matte. Let me zoom you guys in. It looks good thus far. I think it's just a color that's throwing me off. I haven't worn it in a little bit of time, but it hasn't completely dried matte just yet. You can see there's still some shine here. But let me finish the rest of my makeup. I don't really have much to say thus far. It looks pretty good. Like it's not accentuating my pores, it's not really settling into any lines or anything like that. So let me move on to the rest of the makeup and I'll come back and show you guys what it looks like. Okay, I'm back. Hello. So when we zoom in close, this is what I like about this foundation. When everything is complete and all done, everything just kind of comes together. It looks flawless. It's not like this matte foundation where like you're dried out, it's a no-go. This is kind of like just matte. If someone can explain that better than me, please tell me. It's almost like a satin matte. There you go. That is what I'm gonna call it. So it looks pretty good. It looks pretty flawless. I mean, again, the color is just a little bit off because I am just a little pale currently, but everything looks pretty good. There's some creasing here, which always happens, you guys. Creasing around my mouth always happens. I hate mentioning it, but we have to, because someone's gonna be like, well, it's creasy on your forehead and around your mouth. And I'm like, yeah, I know, it always is. So just like come to accept it. But it looks pretty good. It doesn't look like cakey. It doesn't look overdone. I mean, let me go about the day. It's raining today, so I'm keeping my fingers crossed that this matte foundation is going to slay all day and give me life, because it's gonna be a long day and I'm like looking forward to it, but not. Needless to say, I'll be back later to share my thoughts with you guys, and yeah, see you later. We do it. I'm back. Hey guys, I am back from a very long freaking day. Got my hair blown out.
I could put
really, babe?
I could put
So I got my hair blown out at Dry Bar today and it feels very bouncy and I like it. It feels like, I don't know, it feels like so like light on my head. Like it's very, it's so bouncy. I love it. And we did some of the new Too Faced Dry Bar glitter. So back to what we're really here for, foundation. So I'm gonna zoom you guys in. We're gonna see how this foundation lasted. Let's just keep in mind, let's take a look at how it looks from far away. And let's also keep in mind, it is 11:19 right now. at night. I left my house today at 9. So this foundation has been on for 14 hours if I did my like math time correctly. Siri, how many hours are between 9 a.m. and 11:20 p.m.?
It's 40 minutes until then.
What? First things first, we're gonna start on the forehead. This always happens to my forehead. I'm just gonna kind of like accept it at this point unless I get some kind of Botox. We've got a lot of creasing going on. I could probably like blend it out a little bit. We got some creasing going on the forehead. I can't say that I love that right there, but like I said, it's always gonna happen. And usually that's what helps that for me is setting spray. So I hate to say, I should probably have sprayed a setting spray, but moving on to the rest of the face, if we look at the nose area, you can see that some of it's starting to kind of come off on the nose, and it is a little dry around the mouth area. You can see like the whole line around my mouth. It stayed matte. So that's something I want to point out. It stayed matte. Like I am still pretty matte. Like I got a tiny bit oily right here on my forehead, but for the most part I am still matte. I usually do get oily around like this area of my nose, but I did not. So if you're very, very oily, I feel like this could possibly be like your BFF, because this is not getting oily on, it just really, I'm not seeing oil like on my face. I'm not seeing any like dewiness other than the dewiness that I kind of like already put on my face. And after 14 hours, that's pretty bomb. And then final thought, it started to like crease just like a little bit, like look a little textured on my chin right there. But I mean, average thoughts on this foundation. I have used it in the past before, and I have really, really enjoyed using this foundation. Today was just not really a day for it, I would say. The issues that I had with this foundation are nothing like super crazy. That's why I'm kind of giving it the average. Like I said, I think you would be really happy with this foundation if you do have oily skin and you have a lot of trouble with putting foundation or products on your face and kind of keeping that oil away. You might really, really like this. I think that if you have dry skin, you should definitely stay away from this Matchmaster foundation from MAC. I think that it's just gonna dry you out even more, and you're gonna get a lot of creasing like the ones that I have right there. You know, you see them. With that being said, you guys, that is it for my review and wear test of the MAC Matchmaster foundation. I believe that this retails for $36, $38, one or the other, if the prices have not changed since I worked there. I do think I used to be little backstory. I used to be more oily when I did like a couple of years ago. I used to be more oily. And what actually helped me not be as oily is just being very religious with my skincare and using oils on my skin to hydrate it a little bit more so that my skin doesn't feel the need to be more oily. So I'm not as oily as I used to be. But this foundation really did, really was a go-to for me. I mean, it's practically gone, but I guess for today, for it being a 14-hour day, I'm definitely impressed that it didn't get oily. It didn't really start to look cakey or anything like that. We just have a little bit of creasing going on and movement on my nose and my chin. But with that being said, you guys, those are my thoughts on the MAC Matchmaster foundation. If you guys have tried this foundation before, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Let me know what shade you are. I'd love to know. Let me know if you've tried it, if you don't like it, if you like it. Let me know all that good stuff down below. And yeah, that's all I got for today. Make sure you are subscribed to my channel. Just click on my face right here and check out all of my other Foundation Fridays and other videos right here. I love you guys. I'll see you next time.